A Garden of Pomegranates, An Outline of the Kabbalah by Israel Regardie. Read to you by SolarVox. This is a SolarVox recording, and all SolarVox recordings are in the public domain. Preface. Based on the versicle in the Song of Songs, Thy plants are an orchard of pomegranates. A book entitled Parati Sidimonim came to be written by Rabbi Moses Cordovero in the 16th century. By some authorities, this philosopher is considered as the greatest lamp in the post-Zoharic days of that spiritual menorah. The Kabbalah, which, with so rare a grace and so profuse an irradiation of the supernatural light, illuminated the literature and religious philosophy of the Jewish people, as well as their immediate and subsequent neighbors in the diaspora. The English equivalent of Parati Sidimonim, A Garden of Pomegranates, I have adopted as the title of my own modest work, although I am forced to confess that this latter has but little connection either in actual fact or in historicity with that of Cordovero. In the golden harvest of purely spiritual intimations which the Holy Kabbalah brings, I truly feel that a veritable garden of the soul may be builded, a garden of immense magnitude and lofty significance, wherein may be discovered by each of us all manner and kind of exotic fruit and gracious flower of exquisite color. The pomegranate, may I add, has always been for mystics everywhere a favorable object for recondite symbolism. The garden or orchard has likewise produced in that book, named the Book of Splendor, an almost inexhaustible treasury of spiritual imagery of superb and magnificent taste. This book goes forth, then, in the hope that, as a modern writer has put it, there are not many those who have no secret garden of the mind, for this garden alone can give refreshment when life is barren of peace or sustenance or satisfactory answer. Such sanctuaries may be reached by a certain philosophy or faith, by the guidance of a beloved author or an understanding friend, by way of the temples of music and art, or by groping after truth through the vast kingdoms of knowledge. They encompassed almost always truth and beauty, and are radiant with the light that never was on sea or land. Clare Cameron, Green Fields of England. Should there be those who are so unfortunate as to possess no such sacred sanctuary of their own, when builded with their own hands, I humbly offer this well-attended garden of pomegranates which has been bequeathed to me. I hope that therein may be gathered a few little shoots, a rare flower or two, or some ripe fruit which may serve as the nucleus or the wherewithal for the planting of such a secret garden of the mind, without which there is no peace, nor joy, nor happiness. It is fitting that a note of appreciation to my predecessors in the Kabbalistic research should accompany this work, in which I have endeavored to present an exposition of the basic principles underlying the Kabbalah, to serve as a textbook for its study. I have scrupulously avoided contention and unnecessary controversy. I am greatly indebted to Madame H.P. Blavatsky's writing, and I believe I shall not be too egotistical in claiming that a proper understanding of the principles outlined herein will reveal many points of subtlety and philosophic interest in her secret doctrine, and aid in the comprehension of this monumental work of hers. The same is also true of S. L. MacGregor Mather's translation of portions of the Zohar, the Kabbalah Unveiled, and of author E. Waite's excellent compendium of the Zohar, The Secret Doctrine in Israel, both of which are closed books. In the main, to most students of mystical lore and philosophy who do not have the specialized comparative knowledge which I have endeavored to incorporate in this little book, I should here call attention to a tract, the author of which is unknown, entitled The 32 Paths of Wisdom, of which splendid translations have been made by W. Wynne Westcott, Arthur E. Waite, and Knut Stenring. In the course of time, this appears to have become incorporated into and affiliated with the text of the Sefer Yetzirah, although several critics place it at a later date than the genuine Mishnahs of the Sefer Yetzirah. However, in giving the titles of the paths from this tract, I have named throughout the source of the Sefer Yetzirah to avoid unnecessary confusion. It is to be hoped that no adverse criticism will arise on this point. Since the question of magic has been slightly dealt with in the last chapter of this book, it is perhaps advisable here to state that the interpretations given to certain doctrines and to some of the Hebrew letters border very closely on magical formulae. I have purposely refrained, however, from entering into a deeper consideration of the practical Kabbalah, although several hints of value may be discovered in the explanation of the Tetragrammaton, for example, which may prove of no inconsiderable service. As I have previously remarked, this book is primarily intended as an elementary textbook of the Kabbalah, interpreted as a new system for philosophical classification. This must constitute my sole excuse for what may appear to be a refusal to deal more adequately with methods of attainment. Israel Regardie.